There's something fundamentally wrong about the way they move, like animatronics built with hatred instead of servos, three figures smiling, singing, dancing, trapped in a resolution lower than your standards. You think they're part of the game, you keep watching, but they don't stop. Even when the demo ends, they're still dancing. The tape clicks, nothing else. Plays, you rewind, they're closer. Now their names are never said aloud, but you know them, you feel them. The red one with the sunken cheeks, you call her Cheer. The blue one, that's Drooly. The last one, the tall one in yellow, they don't get a name, you just don't name it. It watches. Two hard players report hallucinations after watching their segment, not ghosts, echoes, sirens that hum in CRT fuzz whispering your last Google search. And the worst part, you can't tell if you're watching them or they're watching you. Watching them. One forum post simply read, "They danced into my dream. The floor was what I woke up soaked." The user's account deleted itself. These aren't characters, they're corrupted attention mascots designed to hijack your nostalgia and make you scream in 480p. Let's get something straight. Walter was never meant for kids. He's a wrinkled, shrieking sock puppet with human eyes, real ones. They glisten, they blink, they stare too long between scenes. Every minute of his episode plays like a fever dream someone tried to drown, but it just grew gills. The episode is 17 minutes and 46 seconds of Walter sitting in a rocking chair recounting things that the walls told him. He never blinks. Add 063. 2. The background changes from a sunny kitchen to a pitch-black forest. Now transition, no explanation. Walter simply whispers. Sometimes the cabinets bite back. The audio distorts when you try to fast-forward. He calls your name, not a name, your name. A user on a creepypasta forum once claimed Walter followed them into their voicemail. They played the message on loop, wet laughter, and the sound of teeth being counted out loud. 605, 606. You ever watch something that makes your bones feel out of place, like your skeleton is trying to escape your skin? That's Walter. He doesn't scare you directly. He lets you scare yourself, like psychological judo. His episode ends with a lullaby sung off-key and a hand gently pulling the camera downward. You never see who it is or what it is, but it knows where you live now. You think the uncanny valley ends at robots. No, it spirals, and she's waiting at the center. The spiral nurse wears a surgical mask over a smile that's too wide for her face, but it's not the smile that gets you, it's the way she tilts her head clockwise 1 inch at a time. Every time she says the word incision, no one ever sees her move between cuts. She's always just slightly closer. A medical jump scare with the gait of a dripping metronome. The tape, allegedly titled Standard Procedural Rotations, features actors performing mock surgeries, except none of them move except her. The patients never blink. At 1444, she performs an appendectomy with a pen and starts humming the Barney theme song. The hum never stops, not even when she begins removing things that aren't anatomically real. Extra hearts, ivory ribbons, dreams. One viewer claimed their VHS copy bled. Another said the tape hiss turned into their mom's voice telling them not to trust the mirror anymore. Nobody knows who filmed it. All copies are gone except for one frame circulating the deep web, her face half-lit, eyes rotating inward like a sinkhole. She isn't just a nurse, she's a recursion. She's what happens when you trust a screen too much and sleep too little. The spiral nurse doesn't heal, she rewrites. Nobody really knows what the game was called. People just call it Cradle now. The rumor it only appeared on Simidone loading a LAN party in Tulsa. The file wasn't there before, it wasn't there after, but for one screaming hour, 6 people saw something that ate their sleep like a starving animal. It's a void, no HUD, no music, just the sound of something ticking like teeth grinding in a metal mouth. You're dropped inside what looks like a baby's nursery made entirely out of twisted wire, rusted mobiles, cribs shaped like meat traps, tiny rocking chairs that rock themselves on loop. There's a door, but it leads back to the same room, only messier, and then the lights go out every few seconds. You get a camera flash, and with each burst of light the walls are closer, thicker, pulsing. A face forms in the coil, infantile, broken, screaming through a mouth stitched shut with headphone wire. People say the game doesn't crash, it grieves, like you're witnessing a haunted memory that doesn't want you to leave because you're the only one who ever saw it. One kid who played it for 47 seconds had recurring nosebleeds for a year. He later built a sculpture of the cradle out of coat hangers and disappeared the next night. The sculpture was warm when they found it. This wasn't a game, it was a morning ritual, an electrical miscarriage. Something once tried to be born, and the code couldn't contain it. Glint is not a mascot. Glint is a punishment, a chrome humanoid with dish glove hands and a grin like polished enamel. Glint doesn't blink, twinkles, his eyes don't reflect light, they consume it. The ad is 46 seconds long, But there's no dialogue, just a warped jingle that repeats the phrase scrub and smile, or stay a while. Glint appears in 5 locations simultaneously in the video: kitchen, bathroom, living room, then twice, impossibly, inside. The viewers scream. The 5th glint appears behind the camera, and you see his gloved finger reach forward and tap the lens from inside. People say if you play the VHS backward, Glint's smile slowly inverts and turns into a scream. You can't hear, only feel right in the enamel of your teeth. Dentists online call it phantom plaque syndrome. Victims start brushing obsessively, claiming he's watching the tartar grow. In one unconfirmed account, a woman scrubbed her entire house in bleach and left a note that said, "I made it clean enough for him to leave." She was never found. The house was spotless, like surgically sterile. Even the dust mites were gone. No one knows who made the tape or the product. Glint Oshin doesn't exist in any catalog, but sometimes deep in the status does, and Glint always smiles. He never speaks. That's the first thing everyone notices. He just stands back row, slightly out of frame, wearing a knitted beige sweater and a paper mask of his own face, smiling. The show stars 3 cheerful puppets teaching kids how to listen better, but every time a puppet says, "Are you listening?" the camera tilts just slightly toward him. He doesn't move, doesn't react, but somehow his shadow grows. By the 5th occurrence, his eyes are clearly moving behind the mask. They follow the puppets, then they follow you. At timestamp 1306, when the puppet named Waffles explains how to understand feelings, the man removes the mask. There's no face, just teeth, not a mouth, just teeth floating in darkness, clicking in rhythm with the educational jingle. The episode ends with static and a brief, distorted message in a child's voice: "If you don't listen, he becomes your father too." One VHS copy escaped. A YouTuber uploaded it in 2014. All their uploads afterward were just ambient room recordings titled "Still Listening." The comments begged for updates. Their account went dark 4 years later. Their house burned down. Nothing was recovered except a single melted puppet head in the basement. They said it was smiling. She looks like a grandmother made from melted wax and thrift store curtains. Her voice velvet dipped in vinegar. You expect warmth, what you get is wetness. Every line she speaks has an audible squish, like she's talking through jelly. The tape begins innocently enough, lullabies, storybooks, soft focus filters. Then it decays, the colors fade. Her smile falters at one point. She says, "If you don't fall asleep soon, I'll start reading what you dreamed." Then the pages of the book she's holding start to bleed, not blood color, real physical color drips from them. The camera pans to a child actor who's clearly not acting anymore. He tries to get up. She gently pulls him back with hands that are too long. Then she laughs, and the laugh loops for 58 seconds. No cuts, just looping, and she doesn't blink. Once, some say, if you fall asleep watching her, she visits your dreams and begins decorating them. You wake up crying. Glitter or not at all. The original master tape was found wrapped in a blanket made of doll hair. The person who found it now speaks only in rhyme and only to fire alarms. They say Mother Gun isn't a character. She's a bedtime story that read itself too many times and gained hunger, and now she's tired of being forgotten. So sleep, child, sleep fast, or she'll tuck you in backwards. He never enters. That's the point. He stands behind the door. The door doesn't open. It folds inward, wrong, like a film negative warping, and he's there, always a silhouette, with limbs slightly too liquid for physics, wearing what looks like a skin-colored trench coat made of flesh-colored static. The reel, barely playable, shows a family sitting down to dinner. A narrator reads mundane facts about hospitality, but every 14 seconds there's a flicker. A frame, a single upside-down door in the hallway. The father blinks too often. The daughter has her mouth open the entire time, never moves it. The mother serves invisible food, but behind them, out of focus, he's there, unchanging, waiting. The reel ends abruptly with static, but audio continues. You hear footsteps, wet ones approaching the mic, then a breath, then "Don't invite me in, that's your job." The sound file corrupts itself permanently. The file size increases daily. Experts claim it behaves like a growing organism, like the code wants out. Urban legend says if you watch the reel backwards and play it in a mirror, the upside-down door appears in your hallway. And if you open it, your walls start forgetting where they are. Your house becomes other. He doesn't want to enter. He wants to reverse exist inside you. She's always blurry but never out of focus. She's not in the center. She's never the subject. She just walks across backgrounds like a ghost with a filming degree. Same face, same outfit, same gait, arms swinging like pendulum, smile just a bit too wide, eyes that stare directly into the rendering engine. You don't notice her at first. Your brain edits her out like a watermark. But once you spot her, she's in everything. Watch the footage again. She's closer. Pause the frame. She's looking at you pixel by pixel. You're Sense of safety peels Redditors say if you track her movement across the videos, she maps a choppy, spiraling glyph that when drawn causes your cameras to glitch. One user claimed they tried rotoscoping her out next day, all their content exported with her face as the thumbnail. Their comment, "She knew I was skipping frames, she adjusted." Legend has it she isn't a person, she's a codec hallucination, a memory leak with eyes. Some say she was a real girl who died midstream, her soul trapped between dropped frames. Now she wanders videos correcting time sinking pain. The creepiest part, she doesn't age, but she knows you do. And when you get old enough to notice her, she finally turns around. Yendi.